Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. It's class 12 subject economics. Dear students, our today's topic is components of budget. Yes, dear students, so far we have discussed what do we mean by budget, what are the main terms related to budget. So dear students, today we will discuss what are the components of budget. Dear students, let me first recapitulate you that what do we mean by budget, and then we will discuss the components of budget. Dear student, as far as the budget is concerned, budget is a type of document which contains estimates of revenue and expenditure of the government for the next financial year. यानी कि बजट एक ऐसा डॉक्यूमेंट होता है जिसमें दो तरह की चीज़ें होती हैं, यानी कि गवर्नमेंट का एक्सपेंडिचर क्या है और गवर्नमेंट का ये इनकम क्या है फॉर द फाइनेंशियल ईयर, यही बजट में होता है. सो डियर स्टूडेंट्स, as far as the components of budget are concerned, the components of budget are mainly two. Broadly we can say there are two components of budget. One is, as I already told you earlier, that one is revenue and another is expenditure. यानी कि it is a two-way process. In one way there comes the revenue, and in another way the same revenue is spent for the development. So dear students, in broad sense we can say that there are the two components of budget. First one is revenue and second one is expenditure. As far as the revenue is concerned, that the revenue, that is the component that is revenue is concerned, the revenue receptors of the government can be broadly divided into two groups. First one is revenue receptors and another one is capital receptors. Dear students, as far as the revenue receptors are concerned, it refers to those receptors of the central government which are received on annual basis. It does not create any debit liability for the government, which includes like the tax. The tax revenue comes from direct and indirect taxes. The direct taxes include personal income tax, corporate tax, wealth tax, capital gains tax, etc. The indirect tax includes custom duties, excise duties, service tax, central value added tax, etc. Dear students, the tax revenue provides a major share of the revenue receptors to the central government. In India, yes, dear students, you should note this point. In India, it is about 80% of the total revenue receptors of the central government. Now, as far as the non-tax revenue are concerned, non-tax revenues of the government are like registration fees, court fees, surplus from public sector undertakings, fines, penalties, and so on. This is another source of revenue for the government. Now, as far as apart from this, there are so many channels of revenues for the government. In broad sense, up to your standard, you can remember these points that which I have discussed, that what are the main these revenue receptors of the government. As far as the expenditure side of the budget is concerned, expenditure side of the government is this expenditure side is also divided into two categories. First one is revenue expenditure and the second one is capital expenditure. As far as the revenue expenditure is concerned, the revenue expenditure is recurring in nature. It does not result in creation of assets. It does not directly increase the productive capacity of nation. In India, a major portion of revenue expenditure of the central government is non-development in nature. Now, as far as the interest payments which comes under this category are concerned, a major part of the revenue expenditure is interest payment. In India, about 30% of the central government's revenue expenditure is interest payments. The another expenditure of the government is subsidies. As we know that the government is providing the subsidies to various articles for the public, like subsidies on food products that are sold through ration depots, fuels, fertilizers, etc. The subsidy is however different between the cost price to the government to the consumer. As far as the this government also incurs lot of revenue expenditure on administration of education, law, health services and other payments. Another expenditure for the government is the government incurs revenue as well as capital expenditure on defense. The defense is vital to protect the national security. So, dear students, these were some important. It's a very vast topic. If we see that this it's a very vast topic. These were some important components of these items which comes under the components of budget. Dear students, now as far as this capital expenditure is concerned, government incurs capital expenditure on creation of assets such as infrastructure. It directly increases the productivity capacity of nation. The main features of capital expenditure include productivity in nature. Certain capital expenditure is productive in nature, such as expenditure on infrastructure like roads, construction of irrigation projects, power generation and etc. And the non-productive expenditure in nature which comes under this capital expenditure are like expenditure on gardens, parks, housing of government staffs. Yes, dear students, such as like non-productive in nature. And social development expenditure. Under this expenditure, the expenditure comes for construction of schools, construction of colleges, hospitals, and other government buildings. These were some important terms related to components of budget. So, dear students, with this we have completed our today's topic. So, thank you. Allah Hafz Nasir.